Just wanted to set up the poll there. So I just wanted to quickly, as quickly as I guess I possibly can, tell my life story. I kind of had a little bit of a prompt / script that I kind of decided, or I used ChatGPT to help me write really quick, and I'm not going to use it, so I'm going to try my best to still be clear about my life story. So either way that you theme your own life story, I have a few themes that I could think of that come to mind that make the most sense to me, but then, you know, whatever other people filter out, what my story makes other people think and feel, and all that. So I am now 30 years old. I live in the Bay Area of California, so about 30 minutes south. I don't know my directions, honestly, of San Francisco, and here it is, 2025. I guess I wanted to share this because I was thinking about just like how fast times are like kind of starting to fly these days. I'm getting like the 2000s kind of mixed up, like what did I do in what year, and there's just some old geezers out in the world who have just been able to like immediately be like, oh yeah, I did that in like 1978, and I did this other thing in 1922. Like just like being able to name off like what year they did things, and I'm like having such a hard time with that. And I kind of just think it's because I don't think back on those years and kind of think of like the highlights. So I'll think of like one highlight. I know I did my 3rd bodybuilding show. I don't even know what year I did that. That was also like, was it 21, 22? Somewhere in there. I think it was 21 because I believe I graduated 22. So anyway, so my life starts out down in Huntington Beach, down in SoCal of California. I was born at the Hoag Hospital, which I don't know if that is very much of an interesting fact or not. But to my parents, it was an interesting fact. To people who live down there, that's an interesting fact. Hello. I don't know if you're catching on. I'm trying to tell my life story. I don't think that my channel really has like an updated 2025, definitely not 2025 life story, but I believe I tried to make one like many years ago, and it just is outdated at this point. So what the update is now is, let's see, do I start from the beginning or do I start from where I am now and start going backwards? Maybe we start from the very beginning. So yeah, I was born at the Hoag Hospital. I lived in Huntington Beach until I was about 10, and really just had like the funnest, the coolest, the greatest, at least in my memory as a child, right? Hi everybody that's jumping on right now. Wow, hello from South Africa, Cape Town. That's really cool. I'm doing pretty good. How are you guys doing? I don't have a teddy bear. I have a couple cats, and I have a stuffed rabbit, if that counts. From San Francisco. Wow, that's cool. I am too. Thank you so much. So yeah, I am trying to tell my life story, so I don't know if you guys are interested in hearing a story this morning. But I am trying to go back to my early days. I was saying that I had a really great upbringing in terms of my, parents just kind of, sort of my, okay, so this is kind of where it goes, like, not so great. So my parents had their shit together, let's just put it that way, for a little while. My dad kind of dropped the marble. I don't know. He started to use drugs and alcohol for various reasons, and my mom had to keep it all together. And so she kind of very, very slowly became a single mom. And here we are living in Huntington Beach, where it's kind of supposed to be a really great place to live. We got the beach really close by. We had Disneyland really close by. So, of course, we had family passes to that, and we went to the beach like all the time. I feel like I practically lived on the beach. And we would go to like this Mexican restaurant that my parents went on their first date to. Like there was just like supposed to be a happily ever after for my parents. And then yeah, for whatever various reasons, my dad started using drugs and alcohol. And then we had a terrible house fire. Only our house. It wasn't like the LA fires that, were going on. It was just in our house. We think it was like a spark of some kind from an outlet or something that started a fire, and we were trying to move out of that house and into a different house, and that really crushed that goal or that desire. We had a house fire in the garage with all of our stuff in it, and we lost the house, and insurance was being a pain in the ass. From what I remember being a kid, there was a lot of drama around that, and I obviously didn't know very much, nor was I told very much. Being a kid, you just kind of get, you kind of are protected from all of that. And hi everybody. Hello there, welcome on in. I am telling my life story because I don't think I have an updated version. I don't have any kind of life story that really tells a lot about where I'm from, who am I, and what do I do, and what's the point of all of this, right? So hello there, everybody. Nice to meet you all. Thanks for subscribing if you haven't already. So yeah, like I was saying, yeah, so we have this house fire, and so we need to obviously find a new place to live. And so so we moved to my grandparents' house, like up in Bakersfield. So it's a couple hours up from where we live currently, and we lived there for about 3 years. I make some friends. I make some friends while I'm there who I actually kind of knew because I would go to my grandma's house pretty often. With it just being a 2-hour drive, my parents would drop us off or my grandparents would come down and visit. But while we were up there living with my grandparents, became friends with some girls, and had an interesting school journey. And switching between, I did some private school, I did some public school, so there's a lot with just switching back and forth like that, being the new kid. And it wasn't really that great of a time compared to what I had before, like at my house in Huntington, or my parents' house. we had like a um, really nice two-storied home, lots of space, a beautiful backyard. Oh my gosh. And just a really great house, just a really great place to live. It was just so beautiful, great weather all the time. And that's where I learned how to ride a bike. That's where I learned like everything. And so it was hard to like go up and live, in a one-storied house in the middle of a desert. So it was hot all the time. And having to live with pets that I've never lived with before, and having to share beds with my siblings. I didn't have to do that before, so it was like big whoop, big complaint. I know like it's a lot harder for a lot of other people, but you just kind of recognize when you have things that are good, and then you recognize when things kind of take a hit. And so we were there for about 3 years, and that was pretty challenging, but I did my best to stay optimistic. I homeschooled myself for a year for 6th grade, and then I went to public school 7th grade because I begged my mom to go, and then she let me go, and I low-key regret it. In some ways I do, in some ways I don't. But it was pretty hard and challenging and interesting, to say the least. And in that 3 years, my mom gets a teaching credential and a very specific job at a private school. And so that means that, she can't just work anywhere. And so she finds a job here in the Bay Area. So she's working as a handwork teacher. So she teaches kids how to knit, sew, and basically just it's a fine art practice. So you're sewing clothes, you're crocheting a beanie for yourself. Like you're working on projects that takes fine motor skills and lots of detail and attention. And so that's basically that's what she got her teacher's credential in. And she did that so that all 4 of us kids would be able to go to this school. We would have a fresh start, and we'd have this private school to go to, which was very well-rounded and very pleasant. Like, it was just pleasant. It was a pleasant, way to be immersed in, education. It was very, very wholesome, and we really enjoyed that experience, because coming from, a good, healthy life to being somewhat surrounded by drugs and alcohol, to then kind of a crummy living situation we didn't really care for, to then my mom doing her best to get us back into like a really nice situation. She really tried her best to constantly create beauty, and I'm just always so grateful for that. And she tried her best always to give us the best. And we lived in that house here in the Bay Area for about a year or two. I believe it was 2 years. And then and like meantime, I guess I can, throw in some of the theme of fitness and where the fitness kind of comes in. When I was living with my grandparents down in Bakersfield, where it's just sunny and there was like no activities for kids, so we're like just bored all the time, I took it into my own hands to start working out, because I was not just going to let life circumstances control me. I was going to take control and work for what I desire. And so I kind of had this dream of like building my dream body. Little did I know that bodybuilding was a thing. And so is, just having the dream physique that you want. I was just a little kid and I just had this dream of like, I want the dream this, the dream that, the dream, all these different things of in my life. And so one of them was to like just have this, wonderful aesthetic physique. And so that's what I worked for. And I would work out at least once a day in the backyard. My grandparents had a treadmill, so I would get my cardio done on the treadmill, and it was fun. It never felt like punishment. I really wasn't going down like a terrible rabbit hole of any kind. I was like, just, it felt good to take control of my life in some way because there were so many things that I couldn't. And so that was my way of not only escaping, I don't know, the sadness or the heartbreak we were also experiencing with my dad not being around as much and my mom being depressed from, what the heck is she gonna do? She's just like lost her home, lost her husband. Now she's back at her home where she grew up, and, what the hell is going on? And, so then her taking her action on like how she needed to get all of us into a better situation again. So yeah, I guess I, in a way, was avoiding unnecessary sadness as much as possible. So yeah, that got us through. My mom moved us to the Bay Area, like I was saying. We started going to this wonderful private school that just really elevated our souls, really just like helped us start fresh again. And I enjoyed that really big house and really enjoyed my own fine art, crafts, sewing, embroidering, making really lovely things on my own. Journaling, I've like been journaling since I was like 10 or 11, maybe like 9 actually. Pretty much since I could write. I mean, and I guess also another big detail is that we were heavily religious. Like I was born and raised into it. I was baptized into the religion. I won't say which one. I kind of just don't need to. But the fact of the matter, or like I don't know, what am I trying to say? The fact is we were religious and then we were not. Like we just decided this is not for us. We need to go down a different route. And so we did. And so here we are. We're going to this new school. We're living in this new home. My dad does his best to kind of be a part of the family again, and then it's just too much for him and he falls off the wagon a lot, and that was really hard to see all the time. And so eventually my parents got a divorce. And of course that wasn't what they really wanted, but this addiction was not good to have around us kids, and my mom knew that, and so she filed for divorce, and he reluctantly eventually signed the papers. And it wasn't really, from what I remember, being a super ugly divorce, but it was, still really hard. So then we get over to high school. We have to move again to this very small town, but it's really close to the high school. My mom's thinking ahead. She's like, okay, well, I can still drive to work and drive the younger kids with me to school because, they're all still below 8th grade. So the rest of my siblings, I'm the oldest of 4 kids, let me preface with that, can go to the school with my mom, and then I can just walk to the high school, being in 9th grade freshman. So I'm a newbie to this now public school system. I'm no longer in the private school that was really lovely. I'm now in public school, which is just teaching you to be a robot, essentially. And it really strips me. The people strip me of my joy. The structure itself strips me of my joy. And I kind of just keep with it because I'm told that I need to finish school, and I do my best. But meanwhile, I'm still exercising. I join 3 sports. So every season I'm in a sport. By the time I'm in what's the second year? So freshman, sophomore. So by the time I'm a sophomore, I'm starting cross country in the fall, soccer in the winter, and then swimming in the spring of that next year. So, and so that's kind of what keeps me busy. My own fitness journey of like the self-control that I had when I started my fitness journey at about 10, when I was like controlling more of what I did rather than following a sport where you kind of have to just be a performance-based team player. And I realized that my nutrition was kind of going haywire because I was not only like, going through puberty, but so therefore my female hormones are kind of out of whack and I don't understand them. So I'm just like, one day I'm just starving to death, like I have a hollow leg, and then another day I'm like fine, So I gain quite a bit of weight from that experience. I'm doing a shit ton of cardio all year long, and so it's kind of no surprise to me that I gain quite a bit of weight. Part of it was probably healthy, other parts of it was probably unnecessary and too much, and it was just me like just being like, what the heck is going on? Let's see, then I get to my junior year, and kind of starting to feel like I fit in with the people there, made some friends here and there by this time. Still trying my best to get through school. Made some frenemies already, made some straight up enemies, that kind of a thing. And and what else? Like, I go to, the basketball games. I'm in band. I think at this point I'm in marching band. So I'm attending 7 a.m. on top of already my 8 to 3, school schedule. So I wake up early, go to marching band first thing in the morning, and then I play a sport in the afternoon. So my schedule is just booked. I'm going crazy. I pack my own lunch pretty much every day. And so I'm like being this example of health. I'm being this example of stay happy, do what you have to do to keep yourself happy and polite and kind and all these different things. Because everyone's just straight up like just awful. Like, oh my God, like so many people were just like awful to be around, would just say awful things and do awful things, and it was just so thoughtless of them, and it was so hard to be around. It was, gosh. And so I'm trying to be this example, this light in everybody else's eyes. I'm trying. And then about my junior year, I have like a spark of entrepreneurshipism, I guess. I realized that like, oh, like, wouldn't it be really cool to make, these things that, so like in handwork, right? I've gotten really good at handwork. My mom's a handwork teacher. I just picked up on on crocheting. I've been crocheting and knitting and whatnot since like almost first grade. So I just know this stuff by like the back of my hand, and most of these kids here at the school have no idea like how to do that. Why don't I make beanies? Why don't I make different things and see if anybody is interested in buying them? So I have like this little spark of entrepreneurism, because I really wanted this car that was on my street at home that was being sold for, I think, like 2,000, 2,500, I don't know, somewhere in that range. And to me at that time, obviously, like as a kid, you just think that's a lot of money, but I could put, I could do something and try to work for it. Um and so here I am just writing this down, and like I have this goal that I want to achieve, and here I find this way of like trying to achieve it. And um but oh my gosh, it takes such a long time. I never ended up getting that car. I lost that vision. I got distracted with other things, I suppose. And then senior year comes around, and I have someone to go with and go to prom with for my senior year. I went with a senior in my freshman year. I went to prom, and then I skipped the other 2 years, went to prom as a senior with another senior. And I will probably never see those people ever again. And so I finally graduate. I'm at this point really only getting to call my dad. I feel like I don't remember if he was there at my graduation or not. I think he was, but I honestly just don't remember. And so all I do really remember is like just being on a lot of phone calls with him. And that kind of being our relationship. It was just sad. Like, who wants to have that kind of a life where that's the kind of contact that they have with their parents, Like, I needed him there to be stronger. I needed him there to, like, support the family. I needed him there for so much, and he just wasn't able to do it. And for whatever powerful reason drugs have on the mind, in a chemical sense. So yeah. At some point, me and my siblings go on a trip with my dad, and we go down to where we used to live. We go to the beach, and he kind of steps away for a moment. He's totally fine. He's sober. We don't even, suspect that alcohol or drugs or anything is on his mind. He's normal. He's great. He's perfect, just the way he is. He tells us, "Oh, go ahead, you guys." Like we get to the park, or not the park, the beach. We get to the beach, our favorite beach, and he says, "You guys go ahead, like go find a spot. I'm gonna take all this stuff with. I'm gonna go take all this, stuff from the trunk and carry it behind." And so we do, and he takes like 20 minutes to get over here, and I could just tell. I think Spencer, my brother, could too. We just both can tell something's different about him. And we come to find out he is super drunk. Here we are at the beach. He's now really drunk. He's trying to be a lot of fun and uppity energy, and it kind of just ruins it for me and Spencer. My two younger siblings have no idea. They're kind of just happy-go-lucky kids, as they should have been. And but it kind of ruins it for me and Spencer. And so I don't even really remember the rest of that time at the beach, but I do remember afterwards for sure. We were driving back to my uncle's house because he still lived down there, and we were gonna stay at his place. And my dad's just like so drunk that he's kind of acting like he's driving. He's at the wheel. He's driving us four kids. I'm in the back behind him. My brother is in the passenger seat next to my dad. My two younger siblings are next to me, and my dad just starts freaking all of us out with his drunkenness. He's like kind of swerving and we're like, Dad, we just want to go home. And he just takes it literally. He's like, you want to go home? Okay, let's, flip a bitch and let's take this all the way back home. But what he ends up doing is driving into the center divider, popping both of the left side tires of the car. And we take a left turn into some, rural, like suburban area, so there's not as much traffic. And I remember him getting out of the car, my brother being like, give me the keys, and so he finally gives Spencer the keys, and my dad goes off to another different center divider, and he's just so drunk at that point. Who knows what the heck he's doing. He ends up peeing himself, and then someone calls 911, and I don't know where he goes or what happens, but a really nice couple pick us up, take us to get some food, and the rest I really don't remember. So it was like really, really sad. A really sad way to end the day, where I felt like he was perfectly fine just the way he was, and he didn't. That was the horrible thing about addiction, was that for him, he was never really enough. That's hard. That's hard to like never feel like you're enough. Oh my gosh, I didn't really expect to get emotional, but okay. So yeah, so that's a really hard part of that story. Fast forward back to just graduating high school. My mom's like, you have to go to college. You kind of seem like you don't know what you want to do, but please go to college, figure it out. Don't just stay here and do nothing. And so I'm like, okay, fine. Like, I'll go. And so, I go to this community college. I take about 6 or so years to get my associates in psychology, when normally that only takes 2 years, and little did I know that was the case. I think I didn't know that because nobody freaking told me. Nobody in high school told me. And then I spend 6 years just lollygagging, just taking my damn time. And finally, at the end, I wake up to like, oh, I can speed things up. I can do this actually a lot faster. And so then I get accepted into Cal Maritime, which is right across the bridge from where I live. I can see it from my house, like it's really close. I get accepted for their business administration program, which, by the way, it's an excellent school. Check it out. I had a great experience. I know other people would say otherwise, but that's just because they're complainers, and they had higher expectations, while my expectations were nothing. I had no idea what I was getting myself into, and therefore I had a really great time. So makes sense. I have to wear a uniform every day. I have to be at these like, salute sort of meetings where we're all in a straight line this way and this way. We're all marching, and we all have to wear the same uniform, all these different things. So it's a very strict, it seems like it's a very strict academy. You can take the academy to go into the Marines. You can take it to go into anything related to military, whatever. Or you can just take it for the education, for the networking, for that reason alone, and then just do your own thing after you graduate. And so that's what I did. I got the business administration degree, got it in 2 years flat, and all the meantime, I'm exercising, I'm going to the gym, I'm even a safety monitor at the gym at the academy for a semester or two. I did 2 bodybuilding shows at that, no, I did all three of them at that point. Yeah. I got through COVID by doing a bodybuilding prep. So I like to joke, and it's kind of a mean joke, but while everyone was getting fat during COVID, I lost about 20 pounds. And I was really doing something productive in that time of COVID because again, like things were out of my control, but I don't succumb to that. Just let, I don't just sit around and let life dictate my circumstances. Like I'm in control. And so I did a bodybuilding prep of my third show, and it was the light at the end of the tunnel for that time. It was really hard and really dark. I was doing Cal Maritime full time. Then after the show, no, it was actually during. I was doing them at the same time. So COVID was going on. I was in bodybuilding prep. I decided to take on like 7 classes as I thought I could, and then I realized I couldn't, and so that kind of kicked me in the ass later. Had to be on academic probation, and I had to check in with my favorite, I don't even remember what her title was, counselor, we'll just call her counselor, academic counselor. I had to check in with her once a week to make sure that I was on board and I had the support I needed to get through. And so that kind of helped me. And she realized that I wasn't a delinquent and I wasn't trying to be a bad student. I just was all over the place. And so she helped me get clear on my goals and get clear on what I need to do to graduate. And that was, she was very supportive and helpful and kind, and I really appreciate her for that. And I really appreciated being able to get therapy while I was there. That helped me a lot. It was just really interesting how they would tell me, like, you're fine, you're fine, you're fine, but I just make it look like I'm fine. I've been through a lot, and I think if I feel like if I, have a lot to say of a lot of the things that I've been through and how I don't feel okay, I think that warrants some therapy. So I go to group grief therapy. I go to one-on-one therapy, really working on myself. I'm journaling. I'm trying to get through this schooling, preparing to get into the workforce soon after. And yeah, so let me just read the comments because they're very interesting. It's a recording. It's not actually a recording, and so here I am proving that Rakesh, it's not a recording. I am actually in fact here, but I'm not really able to tell a story and conversate, and so I'm just telling a story first, and then I can talk to everybody. So I'm glad that everybody's chiming in, saying hello and asking questions and all these different things. I am also just not able to multitask in the way of telling a story, trying to tap into my memory while also having conversations and trying to say hi to everybody on all these different things. So hello. Nice to see people are here. Welcome. I'm telling a story. So we have Carlos Data Video Lari. Am I saying that right? Luciano. Hello, good morning. Who are you, or how are you? Who am I? Well, that's kind of what this story is about, is just telling my upbringing of, what I've been through, and all the different things, all the different highlights of my life, and kind of why I'm here. And it is very therapeutic to tell my story out loud and to have my adult brain see my own childhood, experiences and my brain at the time, and how much I've grown and evolved, and how things, like, in a way that were out of my control dramatically changed all the time, but things that were that were just about me and my own self-evolvement took a long time to change. Getting through school was an indicator of how long it took for my brain to kind of just catch up with the times. And it's amazing how when you're growing up and you have a lot of things going on, how I checked out. I totally checked out for a long time. I was oblivious to so many things, and how now in my adult years, I'm not so oblivious to these things anymore. And you could probably tell in your own life as well how this happens. Some people it happens a lot sooner than others. For me, it's taken a while because once I started to actually have a calm life where my dad wasn't around, my mom created a calm, supportive, encouraging home as much as she possibly could. And I'm so grateful for that, because then I was actually able to process so much of my life. And thank goodness for journaling all these years. I don't know how or who I would be if I didn't do all of that. So if the question is, who are you? Well, I am someone who is a lot more in control of their life, and someone who is very calm and very sweet and dedicated and determined. So yeah. Then I get through those college years. I'm also exercising and working out, and then I get a job as a personal trainer for the very first time. And that was both great and awful at the same time. Great because a lot of good things came out of it. I made a lot of really great friends that I just hung out with who was my client at the time, and now we're friends outside, and I think that's really cool. I am pretty much still friends with most of my clients, and then the trainers that I became really good friends with, we kind of plan on doing something really cool together in the future in terms of training and creating a gym. And it was awful because the boss himself was, he was rough. He was toxic in a lot of ways, and had kind of a toxic business model. And so I got out of there before I was there for a year, and got myself an office job in telecommunications, which is where I am now. And I'm much happier. It's not nearly as toxic. The business model makes sense. It's great. I mean, the industry is changing and evolving right now, I guess, as it kind of always is. We're making it work. But the people are much nicer. I'm fully out of debt now. Like, I can actually just kind of relax a little bit. I'm out of debt. It's all paid off now. My personal training job did not help with that, being right out of college, like not having had any other, full-time job experience, not making what I was promised. The school kind of promised that you'd come out of the program with an 80K job signed up, and that didn't really happen for me. And I was then in a personal training job that only paid me like $20,000 in the whole time that I was there. I think I only made that much, maybe even less than that. So obviously I was scraping by, and that really pissed off me and the other trainers that were there. And so needless to say, we're not there anymore, and we kind of hope that his place burns down to the ground. So yeah, I mean, I know that's just business. Business is really tough. You have to do what you have to do to get by, and if you have to disappoint and hurt a lot of people along the way, then that's what you kind of have to do. It makes sense. And it just made me think about my own future, and now what do I want to create for myself. So the good things that came out of that were the people, the friends that I made, the LLC that I had to create to be a contractor for this business. And so now I have an LLC, so why not do something about it, right? And so yeah, I fully jump into my LLC. Here I am without a job, but I have this experience, and I started this weekly strength training class here in my community. So I'm tapping into my community now and trying to learn and grow and support these people here in my town. I feel healed, and my new partner here moves in with me, and in a lot of ways we kind of heal each other. We trust each other. We are good examples and a good influence on each other. And he supports me as I'm trying to grow my business and while working full time. And here we are trying to now buy a business that's already doing pretty well. And then all of a sudden I really have to go pee, so I might have to end this here really soon. And yeah, just now here we are in 2025, starting the year strong. My business is doing pretty well for just being a solopreneur here in the Bay Area, but it is kind of online too, so it's a world thing. It's a program that anybody in the world can do. So if anybody's really in need of online personal training or nutrition coaching, need a program to follow, you need to get yourself back into shape, I have a program that helps us work one-on-one so that you are getting in the best shape of your life. And so that's on my my bio section of my YouTube channel. And so if you're interested in just checking out the website or just getting a bundle, or I have booty bands coming out in their marble, which is my obsession right now. And if you'd like to support me in a way that helps my dreams come true, that would be amazing. You can sign up to wait list on the booty bands that are coming in the next month. So yeah, basically my life goes from pretty good to pretty shit to pretty shit to some more shit. And it's just shit for a while. Here I am now 30, and things are looking up. However, it's interesting how when you're the adult and you get to say how your life goes, the choices that you make are very, very important. They're pivotal to how your life will be in the next 5 to 10 to 20 years, right? And so yeah, in a nutshell, not quite a nutshell at all, it's been almost 50 minutes. I have told a pretty rough draft of my story, my life story. I think the last time I told my story was maybe 5 to 10 years ago. No, 5 to 7 years ago, I want to say. I told some sort of story, but it was too sweet. It wasn't like real and raw enough. And it wasn't detailed enough either, so I didn't have much healing done at that point, so I couldn't really face the reality of how hard things were. I just kept on a smile as much as I possibly could, even though things were really hard. I tried to just stay positive, and so yeah. I think maybe this would be an interesting thing to go into, and then it can kind of pour into the other topics that I have education in. I've been educated in psychology and business administration, and now also being a certified personal trainer. These are just my little areas right now of like, what do I know and what have I learned? I'm no expert or anything, but that's where things are at right now. So I do have to head out here soon. It's time to get in a little workout. I gotta do some legs today, and then I have to go straight to work to my 9 to 5. Oh, thank you. And so thank you guys for listening. I will take a second to respond to excuse me, to respond to comments that aren't trolls. I know I got quite a lot. Thank you guys for all the hearts and the sweet what other reactions there are off to the side. So Easy WS says good morning. Good morning. It is good morning for me. I suppose for Easy WS it's afternoon for you. So good afternoon. It's nice to meet you. I'm very glad you are here. Hopefully we can all get to know each other a little bit more. You can tell your story. I can continue to process and dive into mine. Okay, so Easy WS is just your YouTube name. TJ Lance says, sounds good. Hello, good morning from Sailor. Cool. Nice to meet you guys. Hell yeah, get it, girl. What is this channel about? It's about so many different things. It's kind of, I mean, I could be objective and say it's about psychology, business administration, and personal training. And I suppose I kind of touch into all of those things, and a little bit of entrepreneurship as well. I'm into that too. But I'm, processing life as we all do, right? We all have a story, have a place where we've been, and it is important to tell our stories and to connect in that way, to know that we're all not alone in our journeys. So I think this is probably the best way to do that, to meet like really incredible people. So let me continue to go through. Killer Bean, hey, what are we talking about? I don't know if Killer Bean is still here, but we're talking about my life story. Have you been married? No. But I guess, I guess the guy I'm with is quite the keeper. We've integrated our life pretty well, and he's really great. And so I think he plans on putting a ring on it. Let's see, hey man, what's going on? Love from India. Oh, and here we got my cat. Are you insane? No, you look like CIA experiment. I don't know what that is. Carlos says 80 years is nothing. You're children forever, so be happy. Oh, that's really sweet. I never been in a relationship. How can I be in one? Be a good person, have good morals and values. What else could I say about being in a relationship? Just be a good person and have good intentions for all your relationships, romantic or not romantic. So yeah, have you ever taken oh, no, and I should not have read that. Happy teddy bear day, blah da da, la di da. Humans think that we need to grow up, but that is false information. The truth is the only thing that changes is our responsibility. Very true, right? Like, we're still humans. We're still like humans at heart. So try to maintain that as much as possible. Don't let the world harden your heart, is what I always tell my little sister and my brother when something hard happens, something scary or difficult goes on. Um, so yeah, I think that's about everything. Thank you guys for just being yourselves, just for hanging out with me for a little bit while I rant on about my life story. I think maybe I'll tell more stories. I think stories are so wonderful. I think they're so interesting. It's so interesting to hear what people have to say, our own take on our own experiences and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, didn't realize I got more comments. Wow. Wow, just in that time of catching up, I really fell even more behind. What up, girl from Dallas, Oak Cliff? Oh, cool. I've never heard of that. I subbed. Will catch you on your next lives. Aw, that's great. Thank you, EasyW. Is this a prelude to an OnlyFans show? No. Oh my gosh. I'm flattered, but also offended. Like, no. Very beautiful young lady. Thank you very much. That's very sweet. It's 5 p.m. here in Hamburg, Germany. That's so cool. Well, I hope you have a great evening, Sailor. Denver, Cassidy. I think we're all waiting for the D-robe. Oh. No, I don't think everybody is. Maybe just you. Yep. Hello, Kitty. You kind of favor Milhouse from Simpsons. That's funny. Do you date? Oh, no, I don't. I really into the white guys. Always have been. Tim, Aki, have a few drinks and drive home. Oh, that's not. Do you have a hot tub? No. How are you? I'm good. How are you? Stay alive. Stay alive. Stay on and chill. Oh my gosh, this is very sweet. Greetings, ma'am. Hello, Brian. Is that... I don't know. Love the nerd glasses, thank you. Are you in the military? No, but I was in an academy college. You look like you own a Rolls Royce supercar, Blondie. I do? I don't. But I'm glad you say that. At least I look like I do. That's all that. Oh gosh, that's gross. Should do the... Oh, that's very sweet. I do have to go. It is 8, and that gives me about half an hour to get ready for work. I am not in Germany. I am in America. I think I was reading someone else's comment about being in Germany, and maybe you caught on to that, but I'm in fact in America, in California. I do clean up very well, thank you. Yes, it's 8 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, so 9 to 5, I work in telecom, the telecommunications, so our big clients are T-Mobile, Verizon, Dish. But then my side hustle is I'm a personal trainer, so I train people in the morning and I train people in the evening outside of my 9 to 5, and then I have some challenges that I do. I do monthly challenges. They're 4-week challenges on an app, so it's worldwide. It can be done anywhere. If you'd like to know, let me know. So yes, so you work around nerds pretty much. I use my brain at my 9 to 5. I use my body at my side hustle. So I am 30. Thermodynamics is very cool though. It really is. I would love to stay live. I really would. I have to go get ready. I really have to pee. And I have to go to my 9 to 5. But since you're subscribed, I do go live pretty often. I do make videos semi-frequently. So take a look at those in the meantime, and hop on next time when I am live, and we'll definitely do more. I'll definitely chat a lot more. Let's see. So yeah, have a great day. Oh, thank you. Have you ever? No, I've not been arrested before and I don't plan on it. Okay, have to go. It's been an hour. I can't believe it took me an hour to do this. Okay, bye guys. See y'all later. Bye.